Good evening and salutations, my J's fans. So let's talk about the scene. Let's talk about the scene with Carly and Nina, because I found that scene very interesting, and I was very torn between the two of them. Because coming from Nina's side, she pretty much, well, one, she was going to ask for forgiveness, and I was like, I don't think you need to sit there and go that far, bro. I mean, y'all both were sitting there playing tit for tat. So for you to sit there and come over there and ask for like forgiveness, well, but she does want to sit there and apologize for the stuff that she did. She realized that she was lashing out. A lot of her anger came from now blaming her and really just kind of putting her cards on the table. Just be like, hey, listen, we got family that's connected and stuff like that. I want to kind of bury the hatchet. Could you sit there and find a way to forgive me? Because at the end of the day, all you really do is sit there and ask and try. Whether it works out or not, at least you actually put in the effort to try to make peace. And I give her props for that. But I also understand where Carly is coming from because, yeah, you can ask for forgiveness. Doesn't mean that you owe them that, you know? You don't owe them forgiveness. It was the same thing with Nina. I had that little thing with Charlotte and Aiden. Nina was all like, well, but Charlotte did apologize. So? Doesn't mean that Aiden has to sit there and forgive her. He doesn't owe Charlotte anything, to be honest. So I also understand where Carly's coming from. But then, Carly, starts in with the whole, oh, you got my husband and you got my hotel. And I was like, no, mm-mm. I was like, we're not doing that. Okay? You lost your hotel like an idiot. Okay? And I'm going to sit there and say idiot into the end of goddamn time. You knew what you did. Okay? You had two grown ass adults telling you not to do it, and you did it anyway. So you lost that hotel because of you. Sonny, well, Sonny cheated on you. Okay? So you really need to sit there and be upset with Sonny and not so much her, because when Sonny got back and everything was going on, you asked Sonny for time. A little bit of time, a little bit of space. Sonny being Sonny wouldn't give you that. Sonny decided to call you up and be like, hey, why don't you come to the Haunted Star? Let's make this work. When you told him that you needed time and space. So what did Sonny decide to do? Screw that. And decide to sit there and hop in bed with Nina. So your beef really needs to be more with Sonny than with her. And in some ways, you know, Carly could have chose to be the bigger person and be like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to be seeing more of each other. Let's try to make this as awkward as possible. But I guess Carly's at a point where she's like, you know what? I've done enough. I've given you enough allowances. Every time they're together at family events and seeing Wiley hug her and everything like that, she has to constantly bite her tongue. And it's like Trina said with Esme. We can be cordial. That's as far as it's going to go. So that's why I was a little kind of torn on both of them because I can see where both of them are coming from. And Nina at this point is like, you know what, listen, screw it. Screw you, I tried. Christmas Eve and you didn't want to sit there and didn't even give me an inch. So whatever. So yeah. So Esme is, horrified at the awful person that she was. She calls out Spencer, she seemed like she's gonna sit there and tell him. But Trina is also like, so what's going on? Like what's going on with her? Like what's up or whatever. And she backs out of it. And then she does this whole crying bit. Listen, there's a point where she's outside talking to Ryan. We could have just did the tears. I didn't need to sit there and see snot coming out of her nose like that. That is probably stuff that is just unforgivable. I didn't need to see that. I really didn't. You know, she is torn between being a good person and being a bad person, and blaming Ryan for, I don't know, her genes or her legacy or whatever. Um, then she's doing this whole thing where she's talking about Spencer and Trina. Oh, you got to sit and protect Trina, this, that, and the third. And like, are you crying because you want him or something? Like, I was very confused. I was very confused by that scene. I really did not understand it. But while that's going on, you got Ava, Dante, Sunny, and Laura there. And looking in the house for an intruder. Laura's like, oh well, it could be Nicholas, whatever. Let me go with you. I'm like, oh, you're a liability at this point, but sure, whatever. For story's sake, sure. There's one point where she almost seems like she wants to go ahead of him, and I'm like, Dante just said to stay behind him because it can still be an intruder. We don't know what we're dealing with. Stay your ass behind me. Esme realizes this and she starts running and panicking and doing all this faking out stuff or whatever, opening the door so they can go one way while she runs the other way. And of course, she drops her gloves and realizes it later on. But I'm also just like, why are you that nervous of being caught? I mean, okay, it's not your property, and I don't. I'm pretty sure you can lie your way out of this. She acted as though like she was going to just go to jail or be scolded or whatever. I didn't understand the level of urgency. Like she was sneaking in that house and out like a damn ninja, and I don't really understand why. I understand why she was that worried about being caught, but she was. So she had that going on. Um, but anyway, yeah. So Esme realizes that she dropped her gloves. So now she's worried for some odd reason. You got Sunny worried about Ava for Avery's sake. It's not they're saying that maybe the person who's sending you all this stuff is targeting me to get to you. And I'm like, Sunny, and his ego. Ava's like, I do have enemies also. And that's true. She had a life before she met you. She had a very mob life and people who didn't like her before she met you. She does not actually have her own rogues gallery. Rogues gallery. Her own list of villains that may want to sit there and try to come after her. Everything gotta be about you, Sonny. Just throwing it out there. Sonny's my guy, but like the universe is not just out to get him. He's like, what, listen, screw this. You're gonna stay with me. He was not gonna like that, but Spencer and Trina didn't really do too much. They talked about Esme for a little bit, how the characteristics she was in there acting. Even Trina was not there wondering about her, like, could she really change? And she better just keep her guard up because, yeah. Um, yeah, they didn't really do much after that. Cyrus was not there before Nina got got to the hospital. She was in the confession place, and she was talking to Cyrus. Um, she didn't give any names. She just said that she did something that affected other people, and that was enough to sit there and kind of piece everything together. On top of the episode before when he was sitting there standing in the bushes like a creep and overhearing this conversation like a creep or whatever. And after he talks to the priest, he's like, well, she's gonna have to sit there and confess her sins, otherwise we have to sit there and do it for her. So I don't know what that was about. I think he was really sitting there trying to get some names. Like, well, I mean, with names of some of these people. I'm like, you already know. Then he tried to give her some advice. I didn't really understand what it was he was actually trying to do. Like, I was very confused. He was like, you need to sit there and tell, you need to sit there and unburden yourself and just tell the truth to these people. I'm like, okay, so then you're not gonna blackmail her? I don't see this whole Cyrus getting to religious stuff. It, I'm not understanding it at this point. Now, it should be noted that they were they're heavily talking about when you had Laura and Carly and Sunny. They were they're talking about Bobby and her estate, and I mean Bobby and Luke's estate, and how long it's taking her to sit and deal with that stuff. They kept bringing it up to that. Now, as people are aware, and this came out like in Soap Opera Diet. Well, not Soap Opera. It came out online. Let's put it this way: that they're going to be doing a two-part episode on Bobby and her death and everything like that. They're going to be bringing Lucas back for this particular episode. So they was not they're talking about it today for a reason. It's not like they just bring it up just because. Um, so yeah, that's why they were really talking about that stuff. I feel like that's about it. I can't really think of anything else, but yeah, that's a general idea of the episode. Anyway, if I missed anything, and I'm pretty sure I probably did, we'll sit there and talk about it in the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll go over all the shows, Turn Out Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, Young and the Restless. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.